Some of our regulars checking in. Here's Ray in Maryland. Go ahead, Ray.
Hey now, Eddie. First and foremost, I'd like to second what Saha said and wish you and your family a safe and happy holiday, and I hope you get well soon as well.
Thank you, Ray.
And same to you, AJ and Joel. Joel, I hope you have a great holiday and extended weekend. And I got a concert ticket story for you, Eddie, but one of your callers brought up that Billboard Awards thing that you touched on. And right after that show, my wife and I listened to like parts of 3 or 4 songs on Zach Bryan's latest record. And dude, it is even too country for country. Like if you listen to, like I've heard snippets of like a Keith Urban or a Garth Brooks, and you get the occasional guitar solo. This shit was country. And it seems like just a blatant slap in the face and a fuck you to rock music. Nobody's that clueless. It's like, it had to be by design. So I'll take a couple thoughts on that, but I have I just don't
think, Ray, I just don't think they have a clue. I just don't think they have. I think all of these award shows, all of them are just about popularity. And even if it's outside the genre, it's a big name. If we put 100 awards for this person in every category, maybe they'll actually show up. Maybe we'll get a better rating because their fans will watch, even if we put them in categories they don't belong. It's embarrassing. It's sad. It's pathetic. And it's always rock taking the hit. And before I went off about that on the air the other day, I did pull up some of the music myself to listen to it because I'm like, okay, before I jump off this cliff, let me make sure that what I'm saying is accurate. And I listened to all those bands that I'd never heard of, and I'm like, no, there's not a rock band in the bunch. So again, it's not whether they're good or not in their respective genres. I'm sure they're quite talented, but why is rock this the home of the clueless when the people are doing these shows? It's just like it's this afterthought. They feel like they got to include rock, but they don't know what they're doing and they don't care. So they just jam in some other artists that are popular because they think it'll help them get attention. It's beyond frustrating.
Yeah, it's sickening. But back to the concert ticket thing. This is a thing I did for probably 10 to 15 years. It was back when you could, you always had a physical ticket. And what we would do, or I would do, if it was me and my wife going or whatever the case may be, I would take one of the tickets, and we'd always buy the cheapest seats in the place. We went to a lot of shows at a place called Nissan Pavilion in Bristow, Virginia. That's where all the Ozfests was. I think it's called Jiffy Lube Live now. But that's where all the Ozfests would end up, the Lollapaloozas, and many other concerts. And we would purposely always buy the lawn seats, which would always be like $25. The ones up front would be, in the area of $100. And I would scan one into my computer. Another guy called and said he used blank ones. This is what I did. I would actually buy a ticket so I didn't feel as guilty. And I would scan it into the computer, save it as a JPEG, import it into a Microsoft Word document, and use text boxes. And I would use the seating charts of different venues. So I would change it to an actual seat in the place, an actual section, and change the price and everything. I mean, I probably went overboard because once we got there, and this never failed. I did this for probably 75 shows. And I was probably, my OCD was kicking in, and I'm really meticulous about it. So I would change every detail so it looked legit. And what we would do is walk into go through the gate with our actual lawn seat. And then once we get up to the pavilion, we would use the fake tickets. And they would just, usher us down. Your section's right over there, right up front. And, once in a while, at metal and rock shows, there would be people all over the place. There was always like a little empty spot or something like that. And so we might have to move a little bit, but it never failed. And, it's all on the phone now, so the game has changed a little bit. But I did that probably for about 10 or 15 years, and it never failed. So, but I did did still buy a ticket, so it wasn't completely bogus, and I got in with that ticket. So I thought you'd appreciate the story, man. And like I said, happy holidays, my brother.
All right, you too, Ray. Thank you. You know, as technology advances, obviously we're at the cusp of this whole AI movement and everything. I mean, there's going to be a lot more obstacles in terms of security and what's real and what's not, whether it's online or whether it's even in a ticket or something. I mean, I imagine it's going to be limitless as far as the tricky shit people are going to be trying to do. AJ was sent me a note, and he brought up a good point going back to the T-shirt thing. You can barter with those people, with the bootleggers. You could barter. You could, if they want $20, you could work them. Say, no, I'll give you 15. No, I'll give you 10. No, I want 3, but I want 3 for 30. You can bargain with those guys. You can work them because, again, they don't want to get stuck with them. And they rather unload them as quick as possible because they don't want to get busted either.